Alright guys, hey,
What's up, people? I'm Caleb. I don't live here. Well, I do, but...
Hey guys, I'm Timothy.
I'm K-Wab.
And this is our review, I guess.
Yes. Spoiler-filled.
Spoiler-filled review.
Yeah, you have been
episode
warned.
8.
Okay. I'm gonna give you time to click off. I'm warning you. I'm about to spoil it. I'm about to spoil it. I can't believe Han Solo died!
It was episode 7, Caleb.
Right.
So, first off, there was so much mixed reviews going on there. There's people that just hate it right now. There's a lot of people that hate it. And there's some people that think that it was good. But like, you know, it was not good.
Yeah, it really wasn't. It was fantastic.
Exactly.
Honestly, I'm not sure where it ranks in where the other films are, but this is easily in my top 3 favorite Star Wars films of all time. Yeah. Easily. Much better than the prequels, like 1,000 times better than that. Better than Rogue One, better than Force Awakens. I think it's better than New Hope, too, honestly. It kind of is. I mean, the only films I'm kind of debating with is Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back, but even then, it's still very, very close. And I went into this film with like little or no anticipation. Yeah. I was like, please be good, please be good, please be good, because I'm like, Rian Johnson, I don't know this guy. Going into Force Awakens, I know Lawrence Kasdan, I know J.J. Abrams, I've seen what they can do. Right. But this guy, I don't know at all.
I guess the main criticism that I get from people, what I hear the most about, is that one particular piece of the story, that other side quest, as people are calling it, that is Finn and Rose's side of the story.
Yeah.
So you had them going to this casino planet and doing a bunch of different stuff, and okay, y'all, you really do have a point when you talk about that, because as far as the plot goes, they didn't tie into the plot at all.
No. Not really.
At the end, they kind of screwed everything up and they made it worse. So, I mean, the only part of the plot that it actually furthered was the fact that it set up these children, these orphans that were being kept there for the end.
Yes.
And so, as far as the plot goes, sure, it didn't connect. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But as far as story goes, it was on the spot. It was totally on the spot with the story. So, let's talk about the theme of the movie.
Yeah, one of the big themes for me was that one line that Rose said at the end, or near the end, when she saved Finn from nearly killing himself, which basically was, you know, we're so focused on destroying what we hate instead of protecting what we love. Yes. And one of the things, if you look at because I saw there being like 3 different plots.
Right.
There was Rey, Kylo Ren, and Luke and Snoke, that whole plot there. Then you had Poe, Leia, and then that new chick, don't remember her name, she had purple hair. Basically, that was their plot line. And then you had Finn and Rose and BB-8. You know, they had their plot line. And all 3 of them followed that theme perfectly. Like with Luke and Rey's theme, whenever Luke told the origin, you know, of Kylo Ren becoming Kylo Ren, how he, spoilers, almost freaking killed him because he sensed so much Vader in him, and he was so scared that he was going to become Vader. And how that ties in is that he was more focused on killing the Vader side of Kylo Ren as opposed to, you know, doing what he could to help save him, like he did with his father in Return of the Jedi. You know, he was trying to kill that side. And then with, you know, with Poe, he went in there and at the very beginning of the movie and tried to blow up all these fleets and tried to destroy, you know, the First Order. He was so focused on, hey, we gotta do this, we gotta beat up everybody, but I was totally on Leia's side when she demoted him because he was Mr. Hotshot. He's like, yeah, let's destroy all this stuff, but he was focused more on destroying what he hated as opposed to protecting his team and people he loved.
And see, that was a great thing about what Rian Johnson did here. Because you see that in so many movies where you have this, and
Yes.
especially in Star Wars. You see it in Star Wars. You see it in the first and then the second. 4 and 5, and a little bit in 6. You see, the second Death Star and the first Death Star. It's like, oh, we're gonna do this daring suicide mission. We're gonna go in here. I'm gonna do this super crazy thing, and everybody thinks we're an idiot. And it's like, oh, okay, you turned off your targeting computer. You're not listening to orders. You're not doing this, and we're just gonna jump in here, and we're gonna do our daring mission. We're gonna come in here. We're gonna be little rebels. And we're gonna kick some serious butt, and everybody else who's idiots who thought we wouldn't succeed.
Yeah.
And it's just like, winning is by being brave and just jumping out there and being Mr. Daredevil and just like, and there's a point to that and there's good in that, but Rian Johnson was like, we're gonna turn this on its head, and realize that that's not always the way to go.
Yeah, I loved Poe's arc at the very end of the film, where as soon as Luke shows up, to fight Kylo Ren, he sees Luke, and his first instinct was, oh, we gotta help Luke, but then he's like, wait, no. Luke's here for a reason. Luke is here so we can get out alive. And so Poe immediately directed all of his energy to getting the remaining people from the Resistance to safety. And it was so beautiful. Because it was just like, Poe getting demoted was terrible for him, but it was necessary. And it
changed him.
It really changed him for the better. And it made him a much more compelling character, honestly. I mean,
that always bothered me with like things like 300, for instance. The idea of no retreat. Oh, no retreat.
Exactly.
And it's like,
exactly.
Good luck surviving. You're just gonna get yourself killed, you freaking morons.
Yeah,
and
I'm like, there's a time and a place for that.
There's a time, place for bravery, and there's a time to attack, and there's a time to retreat. And being a retreat doesn't mean that you're a coward.
Thank you. Exactly,
yeah,
and
huge,
that's what this film understood. I didn't finish, but
people get an idea from that, or that causes people to think a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was great. But so another huge part of this movie that was really what made us like it, and why we don't really have that much issues with like Finn and Rose's side of things and everything. The other big part of the story was about misfits.
Oh yeah.
That was what really put this at the top of the list for us, because we are just so invested in this idea that the greatest people, the people that change the world, the people that have the greatest power to impact things, are the lowest, the useless, the castaways, the people that are cast aside by society.
Yeah.
And man, oh man, oh man, we were freaking right!
I'm not trying to, rain on anyone's parade if you think, oh, because some people think, oh, she's Ben Kenobi's granddaughter, or, oh, and she's not Luke's daughter, she's not Leia's daughter, she's not related to Obi-Wan. I think that we've proven that you can be a powerful Jedi without having any lineage. Obi-Wan had no lineage, Qui-Gon had no lineage, Yoda had no lineage, Mace Windu had no lineage, and all 4 of those Jedi were freaking powerful. But the one thing we did predict that Rey's parents
was going to be a nobody.
Rey was nobody, and she was nobody. I loved that.
So important to me. I was like, it would ruin the whole thing if she was a part of some dynasty.
Because she has to be Obi-Wan's granddaughter. She has to be Han's daughter. She has to be Luke's daughter. She has to be Mace Windu's relative or freaking reincarnation of Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm like, seriously? I'm like, does she have to be related to people? Like, seriously?
People
was Luke related to anybody? Well, yeah, he was, but
it's just ridiculous. But it was so much better that she doesn't have to be related to somebody to be an important person.
Thank you.
She is important because of who she is, not because of the fact, regardless of the fact that her parents threw her.
And that was also, trash. I'll be honest, when I heard Kylo Ren say that and the look on Rey's face, I literally just started crying when I saw that for the first time. I was like, Rian Johnson, you nailed it with that, because that was so beautiful. And what I love what he did was, there are all these fanboys out there, some of y'all are watching this right now, you have all these theories, oh, Snoke's this, Snoke's that, Rey's parents to these people, all these ridiculous theories going all over the place, and Rian Johnson's like, whop. I mean, he completely, like, Snoke died. Oh yeah, spoiler, Snoke died. He's not even useful.
He just, like, was a placeholder.
Rey's parents are nobody. just a bunch of jerks who, you know, sold their daughter to somebody. And it's like, we don't care about any of that now. It's because it's not important.
All of the theories,
and the Battle of Jakku. Yeah, but honestly, I just love what Rian Johnson did with that. I love how he just did something completely different, because like in Return of the Jedi, I remember, you know, Sidious was saying to Luke, take your weapon, strike me down, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete. Kylo Ren actually did that with Snoke, and that is what I love. It followed the Star Wars formula. I mean, that whole scene between Snoke, Rey, and Kylo Ren just screamed Return of the Jedi. Like, it was blatantly obvious how similar it was. But it didn't bother me, especially because Kylo Ren killed Snoke. I'm like, that's something that, you know, like, throughout all of the saga, Darth Maul wanted to kill Sidious. Dooku wanted to kill Sidious. Vader wanted to kill Sidious. Every single apprentice had wanted to kill Sidious, you know, or they wanted to kill the Master. Heck, you know, Darth Sidious killed Darth Plagueis, his master. And it's like, I mean, it's just this long line. Like, Kylo Ren actually succeeded in killing Snoke. You know, I mean, I want to say that's what he's wanted to do all along. Yeah, especially when he started calling him kind of a... It's like, you're like a little girl who's barely hold a lightsaber beat you up. Like, really? He started really just kind of like, okay. It's just like, you don't have that power anymore. I saw you had raw power and you're losing it. And that really made him angry. Of course, that was really, I think, what Snoke was wanting from the beginning. So, but
going back to the main theme here, it just worked so much that this story was about what Rose said, but it was really a lot, especially towards the end there, about how important misfits are and how the greatest people in the world are nobodies. And that was what really did it for us. And you look through, I mean, that is a core value that we hold. That's a core value that we hold as Christians.
yes.
Because it is the story of humanity. That idea, you see it in film all over the place because it works, because it is the story of our redemption. It's the story of humanity. When you look at all of Scripture and you look through all of the most important people in the Bible, and you know how God used them because they're nobodies, and you know, God's power is made perfect in weakness, and that's the idea that you see throughout all of these stories. You look at all the characters in the Bible. You look at David, and he was a shepherd boy. You look at Gideon, he was hiding, and you look at all the people, everybody, and even freaking Jesus was a nobody too.
He was a nobody.
He was absolutely a nobody. He came, he gave up everything.
Can anything good come from Nazareth? I'm like, they're Pharisees' words, not mine. It's in Scripture. It's what, and the other thing is, some people say, oh, well, there have been great movies with arrogant jerks as the main character, Caleb. And I'm like, well, let's look at Scripture first. David had kind of both arcs, if you think about it. He was the shepherd boy who is, man, who cares about him, and then he ended up defeating Goliath and became king. When he became king, he totally screwed up, and as a lot of you Christians know, the whole story of Bathsheba, I'm not even going to go into that, but he totally screwed up there. But at the end of that story, became a misfit again. So it's like the story of him is like a misfit becoming somebody, and then he became a misfit again after the whole thing with Bathsheba. And I'm like, that's something I've seen in film too. Like, especially one of the best examples of that, really, if you guys have ever seen Arrow, you know, with Oliver. He was definitely Mr. Hotshot, look at me, I'm so awesome, and then spent 5 years on that island, and that changed him for the better, you know, becoming like that. And so, you know, even stuff like that still follows, you know, in the Misfit, you know, story, honestly. You know, because I've had so many people come up to me and be like, hey, an arrogant jerk can make a good main character. I'm like, you're right. By them becoming a misfit.
They have to be brought down.
They have to be brought
in order to be great.
And that's one of the things that irritates me with Tony Stark right now, is that he's not being brought down to Earth. He's still doing the same crap over and over.
And he just gets away with it.
And it gets worse. But that's what I loved about Poe. That was really Poe's arc. He was Mr. Hotshot. He was, yeah, look at me, I'm Poe. I can do all this cool stuff.
Surrendering is for... retreating is for babies.
Exactly. You know. But him being brought down to Earth was great. You know, I'm like, so... I mean, both are, I mean, they're different in their own right, but they still follow Misfit.
Yeah.
You know?
So, yeah, that's really what we loved about this movie the most. And I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with those kids.
Yes.
And that was a huge part of it,
I love
too.
seeing the kid.
You saw that with Rose, you saw that with Ray.
Yes.
And you saw that with these kids. They were just all useless. They were nobodies. They casted away by society. And I really hope they continue with that theme.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking about Leia talked about their allies, and I want to see like a ragtag group of idiots and morons that show up and like a bunch of Millennium Falcons, and
I would love
that
to
are
see
just
that.
a bunch of junk, and they come here and they're the ones that save the day. And
I want to see that.
they're just a ragtag group of people on the Outer Rim. You think about what's on the Outer Rim. The Outer Rim is like all of the filthy, nasty,
just
dregs of society. Those are the Outer Rim is literally the outcast planets.
Yeah.
And so, man, they could do some good things with that.
J.J. Abrams has a lot to work with.
But yeah.
And I'm really excited to see what they do with Episode 9. I'm a little scared because I really don't want them to screw this up.
Yeah.
Of course, that's how I was going into Episode 8. I'm like, there's so many ways they could screw this up, but it turned out to be absolutely fantastic.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think that's about all the time we have. We could be talking about this for days and days.
No, we are gonna continue to talk. Like after this video, I'm no joke. We're gonna continuously talk about this. We're gonna be talking about this with our grandchildren too. Honestly.
But that's about all the time we have for this episode. We'll see you later, guys.
And remember, we were right.
We were right.
Sorry, I just had to say that. I just had to say that.
Anyway.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.